Welcome back to what I am pretty sure will be the final segment of my amateur how-to video. And we have left the silver and the copper submerged now for about 12 minutes. I took a little more time getting back to this. And I gotta admit, even looking into the bowl, it's already looking way more shiny. So call me a nerdy wannabe chemist, lover of shiny things, but I'm getting a little bit excited. So to really see the end result of this lovely little demo, we do have to put a little bit of what our grandmothers would call elbow grease into our final results. I am going to take up a ring that was quite tarnished and still looks quite tarnished and see what a little bit of scrubbing does to this thing. Again, not my roommate's toothbrush, but we're gonna see just how shiny we can get this, because silver is meant to be beautiful, not black and damaged by the hands of time. So hopefully these hands can make it all shiny again. That's what I'm hoping for. Now already there is a big difference with this ring, but I do assure you, if something's not coming clean right away, it might just need another 10 minutes submerged. But at least this gives you a chance to see what, in this case, 12 minutes is going to do to a ring that was pretty much black. So again, we are back to being silver. And now for my own preferences, I actually might submerge this for a couple more minutes just to see if I can get it a little shinier. But this is a huge difference from what it was. So back in it goes. And if you hear my fridge in the background, that means stuff in there is cold. But I'm sorry if it's annoying. There's really nowhere else right now I can try and set up at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we have the next one, and this is quite a detailed ring. It was also quite black, and I'm going to take a toothbrush to it for just a couple of seconds. Because of the ornate details of the face, you kind of do have to scrub this one to really lift off that gross layer of oxidized time. And hopefully you can see just how brilliant this is becoming with very, very little effort on my part. It's actually really happy making to see the change. That is pretty shiny, I gotta admit. I don't know if that's going to become much shinier. Oh, and just in case anybody notices this fluff, this white part, if it is showing up, that's actually paint. I paint a lot. I used to do exterior and interior painting for a company, and as you can tell, I wore this ring a lot. That's actually oil paint that I've managed to get on myself, and maybe one day in the future I'll be able to have the know-how to make another video about removing paint from jewelry. This method doesn't work for removing paint, but I just wanted to point out that, you know, that's paint. It's not damaged dent in the ring caused by the tinfoil project at all. It's actually quite happy and shiny again. That makes me quite happy and shiny, I have to admit. So one of my favorite rings that we threw in here is lovely moonstone, and I will throw out there that a few of these rings, as you can tell, have semi-precious stones in them, and for the most part I have no problems throwing in a tumbled gem in this mixture. I wouldn't leave it for more than 15 minutes though. I do think that the worst that really could happen is maybe the glue could be worn down and a stone could come loose and fall out. That is a risk that you're taking when working with jewelry and a mild form of acid, and it's a risk I just chose to take, and one that I'm not having any regrets over. So I will just say that I have read on sites in the past that you should be wary of more ornate jewelry that isn't just silver. I haven't had an episode where I experienced anything falling off or any damage to a stone, but as I've read before in disclaimers, it really depends on the stone. So use some common sense, and if you are worried and you know what the stone is, I might just type it into Google and ask, the wonderful wizard of Google whether or not it's safe. See what comes up. But again, it's probably going to differ per stone. But as you can tell, that is really, really shiny again. That right there makes me a little tingly. It's one of my favorite rings. I picked it up from a store called C&3, and I would have been 17 when I bought this. And of course I'm an old lady now, so this takes me back quite a bit, but it is always nice to be able to salvage something so pretty from your past. Moving on, another silver ring. This time there's a piece of onyx in that, and you can tell that it's still very much tarnished. It has been sitting in there for 12 minutes. We're going to take our non-roommate toothbrush to its facets and see if we can bring some shine back into this baby. Because, again, silver is meant to be shiny. Too bad there isn't a concoction like this that works on wrinkles. Remove the disadvantages of time. DIY style. So, this is coming clean. This might be one that I would set back in there for 10 minutes, just because the back is still quite dark. So I'll turn it around and give the other side a quick go over, and hopefully you can tell that's become a shade or two lighter. Same with the front. I am, as always, very impressed with this method. I think it could get shinier, so I'm going to just drop it back in there and do it again after a video. But again, at least this allows you to see the huge, I believe, huge difference between the before and the afters after 12 minutes, and very, very little effort on my part. because when a ring is so grimy that it's gone from shiny to black, you're probably going to go through, like, kill a silver cloth trying to remove the tarnish. So if you can do a little DIY project to take most of the effort out of it, well, why not? This is why we DIY. I don't know what it would take to have rings professionally cleaned, but why pay someone to do it when you can do it yourself? So this is actually, again, another very, very precious ring. It's red garnet. It's now much shinier. And you know, this is the first ring I ever really bought myself that didn't come out of like a bubblegum dispenser or one of those Christmas crackers that you pull apart. And I am quite happy with the shiny results of this one, so I'm not going to redo it. It can go in my done pile. And we'll move on again. So there were 2 rings that I had thrown back in just to see what would happen. And now we have the little ring that I had thrown in that I've been wearing just to see what 10 minutes would do to a relatively new ring. And with very little tarnish, but still a little bit. And I think that turned out, again, much shinier. Actually quite pleased with the final outcome of that one. And this one I can already tell the bracelet is much shinier. And I've never tried to polish a silver chain with a silver cloth, but I can see how it might drive one a little bit insane, because there's no way you can get into that detailing that I know of anyway. Maybe little mini elf hands could do it. These babies won't. But again, after 12 minutes, that is looking like I just took it out of the box from a year ago. So again, I would count that as another first time success, which is very nice. So I'm flipping the 2 last rings that I threw back in here. And now I'm gonna look at this bronze ring, or sorry, copper. And it's still fairly grimy, but it's not nearly as black. And from what I can tell so far, I might have had an alright guess when it came to how to go about cleaning this, which is kind of cool. Oh, by the way, you'll want to wash your hands really well after this, because I said in my second video that it's kind of smelly, kind of really, and you get that on your hands. I swear it's the oxidation itself that kind of gives off that weird aroma. It just smells like gross. It's not pleasant. So this ring has definitely not disintegrated. It's definitely shinier. but it's still a little dark. So I think I'm gonna put that back in and check out the ones that I re-added. Give them another quick wipe. And I would say I am fairly happy with that result. For what it was and what it is now, I will take it. And for the ring with onyx, that was again almost as black as the onyx stone itself. It's looking much shinier, much happier. And I would say I'm not going to get it much more silver and shiny than it is right now, especially compared to what it was. So, from what they were to what they are now, I would say that the results speak for themselves. And it's definitely brightened up my day so far. It didn't take paint off, but these actually look like commercial silver once more, and I'm actually going to be putting some of these on later. I'm so happy to have my little jewelry friends back. I would say that ring is fairly clean. And you know what the funny thing is? I don't even think this was copper. I can guarantee it was not, however, silver. But the cleaner it got, it lost its weird red tinge. So I'm a little mystified. It's mystery metal, but it's much cleaner mystery metal. It's looking like silver, but it's looking like maybe a plated then. That's really weird. I feel like a bit of a dumb blonde right now. However, the hypothesis itself worked. That this method works on even weird mystery metal that's not solid silver. And it's a shiny ring again. I think that's good enough for me. And I think I've rambled on long enough now. I hope that this helped some people out and maybe assuaged some worries that the vinegar volcano method might not work very well or be that effective on delicate silver. Again, I will reiterate that I used rings with different kinds of stones and nothing exploded or imploded. No rings were harmed in the making of this video. It seems to be fairly safe to submerge various styled rings with various elements for 15 minutes or so. Anything longer than that, you might be playing with fire. I can't guarantee that. So that is a disclaimer. I'm not a chemist. I am just a girl who likes her shiny. And now it is. And have an excellent night, day, evening. And maybe I'll see you again. Bye.